Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna Janaki. Hare Krishna Arja, good morning. Namo Vishnu Paraya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Sri Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Sri Rakoda Harita Siddhinamide. Namaste. Prabhupada Deve, Gauravani Pracharine, Nirvishesha Sunyavadi, Vasachadeja Dharine. Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhara, Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhara, Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna 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 Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, 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 Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Oh my God! Oh my God! Okay. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama 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 Hare. I'm sorry, I got a buzz in my mic unplugged computer charger. Okay, is it better now? Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna. It's a deep chanting that I have now, really deep, really deep. Is someone tickling her? No, nobody here under the table. No. Balaram is still sleeping here on the floor. Sometimes we really feel purifying. Like now, this chanting, and you love to be purified. It's great to feel purified, to feel that we're really feeling, really physical feeling that a lot is coming out. Thanks to have this building on this relationship with the Lord. Okay, thank you. Great sound now. Yeah, we are in Istanbul now. Yeah, we are in Istanbul. Yeah, Balaram needs to be here for his job, and we need to leave from here to India anyway, so I went with him. My laughing box is stuck. Mary. Yeah. this union with the Lord is so important for us, for an ecstatic devotee. You just want only this, and you get deeply disturbed by material things and material people. And even if in my preaching, we are visiting devotees here and other people, friends of Balaram. We visit a lot of people actually and have private talks, but to be honest, if I have to sacrifice too much to listen to material things, and if I'm not able to talk about Krishna, it's getting a disturbance for me. This desire is so big that the moments that you can't think about him, or that you're not reading or chanting, that yeah, you get disturbed. It's so clear for me that I only want to live for the Lord now, and the soul gets more and more demanding, and want to detach from all the rest. And it's great to find shelter then in chanting and breathing, to feel a human being again, to feel this is what I want, this is what makes me happy, and this is what makes me a devotee. That's this chanting in deep ecstasy. It's unbelievable beautiful. It's a present that you gave me, Srila Gauraharidas. You can't compare it to anything. It's not possible to compare it with other things. It's so deep, and you learn so much. And I feel so fortunate to have met you, that Freddie gave me this link. It's so fulfilling. It's so fulfilling. I will read now. Yeah. Life is extraordinarily beautiful from the moment the Lord is really in your life, but really in your life. And I have a lot of talks with people, and I feel, even with Balaram, that they can't get it completely, how you can have this desire, and how you can feel in separation when you're not with the Lord, how you run to be home again, just to be with the Lord again. Yeah, try to find a balance. It's still a bit difficult to find a balance. How much do I want to sacrifice by in context with people, when my goal is to preach to them, and then when I don't get the opportunity, but I invested and I don't get the opportunity. Yeah, it's not because of the result, not at all, but you feel that yourself are going a little bit down by associating with people who are not ready for it. Yeah, it's just I'm so addicted to Krishna, getting so addicted. He's attracting me so much. Yeah. I would fight. I would argue if I am not allowed to do this and broadcast, and yeah, it's so important. And this preach is part of being a devotee, is part of the devotion, to speak the word that you heard yourself. Yeah, it's automatic. You need it. You need to follow this process. You need to do it, otherwise you feel unhappy. It's like it is like it is. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Meena. Yeah, I will read from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Again, just a choice. It's about the deliverance of Gopinath Patanayaka. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Sri Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Sri Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. The deliverance of Gopinath Patanayaka. The 9th chapter is Antya-lila, is this 9th chapter. The 9th chapter is summarized as follows. Gopinath Patanayaka, the son of Bhavananda Raya, was engaged in the service of the government, but he misappropriated some funds from the treasury. Therefore, the Badajana, the eldest son of King Prataparudra, ordered that he be punished by death. Thus, Gopinath Patanayaka was raised on the Changa to be killed, but by the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu he was delivered. Moreover, he was even promoted to a higher post. Is this not what we have? Being a sinner, being a real sinner, and being not perfect, and having a big ego, and think that we invited the hot water ourselves. And then having a burnout because of our own faults, and then the Lord takes us by the mercy of the Lord. He sucks you towards him while you're drowning because you made a mess of your own life, by not taking care of yourself, of the body, and knowing that you're doing the wrong thing, but continuing because you're addicted on this work, and then and then you get this mercy, and even you get promotion because you get this high thinking, you get a whole package of mercy where you didn't work for, while you made a mess of everything. If this is not mercy, I don't know it. I don't know what mercy is. It's really, yeah, it's that's Krishna. That's Krishna. You can't imagine how merciful this ocean of mercy is, when you are swimming in it, suddenly being delivered. Oh my God. Let's read chapter verse 1. The innumerable glorious followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu brought a constant flood to the desert like hearts of the unfortunate, with an inundation of ecstatic love. All glories to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the most merciful incarnation. All glory. All glories to Lord Nityananda, whose heart is always compassionate. All glory. All glories to Ajita Acharya, who is very merciful. All glories to the devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who are always overwhelmed by transcendental bliss. And it's still working. And it's working forever and ever. Oh, what a powerful bliss. The Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu lived at Nilachala, Jagannath Puri, with his personal devotees, always merged in ecstatic love for Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu always felt waves of separation from Krishna. Externally and internally, his mind and body were agitated by various spiritual transformations, and how beautiful those transformations are. During the day he chanted, danced, and saw Lord Jagannath in the temple. At night he tasted transcendental bliss in the company of Ramananda Raya and Svarupa Damodara. People from the three worlds used to come visit Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Anyone who saw him received the transcendental treasure of love for Krishna. Just giving, making people happy, waking up the souls and bring them back to Godhead. The end. See, and we are in the revival. It's only 600 years ago, 500 or 600 years ago, and we are in this revival. And Sri Gauraridas, you are giving this. You are so merciful to accept this order of Sri Prabhupada to serve Krishna in that way and to serve the world. And the world says, no, thank you. It's a word says, no, thank you. Like always, no, thank you, Lord. You're not welcome. Actually, saying no, thank you to you is saying to Krishna, you're not welcome in my heart. I don't have the desire to follow the shortcut or to accept the mercy, to accept that actually there is suddenly a shortcut. If you even don't want to inform yourself, it's so strange that people say no, thank you. And I realize myself that I must have said no, thank you to the Lord so many times in so many lives, and now I regret. But still, He's coming back, and you get your chance again. The inhabitants of the 7 higher planetary systems, including the demigods, the Gandharvas and the Kinnaras, and the inhabitants of the 7 lower planetary systems, including the demons and serpentine living entities, all visited Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the dress of human beings. Dressed in different ways, people from the 7 islands and 9 khandas visited Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Prahlada Maharaj, Bali Maharaj, Vyasadeva, Sukadeva Goswami, and other great sages came to visit Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Upon seeing him, they became unconscious in ecstatic love for Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Being unable being unable to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the populace outside his room would make a tumultuous sound. Thus, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would go outside and tell them, chant Hare Krishna. All kinds of people would come to see the Lord, and upon seeing him, they would be overwhelmed with ecstatic love for Krishna. In this way, Sri in this way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu passed his days and nights. That's how attractive the Lord is. If you have felt it once, and if you heard about here, people want to, they see it's infecting each other. That's what we need to we need to create in the world, that we show where the magnet is actually talk about it, and so that more and more and more people can get this mercy that's available now. So rare. One day people suddenly came to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and informed him, Gopinath Patanayaka, the son of Bhavananda Raya, has been condemned to death by the Badajana, the eldest son of the king, and has been raised on the Changa. The Badajana has placed swords beneath the platform, they said, and will throw Gopinath upon them. Oh Lord, only if you protect him will he be saved. Bhavananda Raya and his entire family are your servants. Therefore, it's quite fitting for you to save the son of Bhavananda Raya. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu inquired, why is the king chastising him? Thereupon the people described the entire incident. They said, Gopinath Patanayaka, the brother of Ramananda Raya, has always been a treasurer for the government. He served in the place known as Malayaka Dandapata, soliciting and collecting money there and depositing it in the government's treasure. Once, when he deposited the collection, however, a balance of 200,000 karanas of conscience was due from him. Therefore, the king demanded this sum. Gopinatha Patanayaka replied, there is no money I can immediately give you in cash. Please give me time. Gradually I shall purchase and sell my gross goods, and in this way fill your treasury. There are 10 to 12 good horses. Take them immediately for a proper price. After saying this, he brought all the horses to the door. He brought all the horses to the door of the king. One of the princes knew how to estimate the price of horses very well. Thus the king sent for him to come with his ministers and friends. The prince, however, purposely gave a reduced estimate for the value of the horses. When Gopinath Patanayaka heard the price quoted, he was very angry. That prince had a personal idiosyncrasy of turning his neck and facing the sky, looking here and there, again and again. Gopinatha Patanayaka criticized the prince. He was unafraid of the prince because the king was very kind towards him. Gopinatha Patanayaka said, "My horses never turn their necks or look upwards. Therefore, the prince for them should not be reduced. The price for them should not be reduced." Hearing this criticism, the prince became very angry. Going before the king, he made some false allegations against Gopinath Patanayaka. This Gopinath Patanayaka, he said, is unwilling to pay the money due. Instead, he is squandering it under some pretext. If you issue an order, I can put him on the changa and thus realize the money. The king replied, "You can adopt whatever means you think best. Any device by which you can somehow or other realize the money is all right." Thus the prince went back, raised Gopinath Patanayaka onto the platform of the changa, and spread swords below upon which to throw him. After hearing this explanation, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied with affectionate anger, "Gopinath Patanayaka does not want to pay the king the money that is due." The Lord said, "How then is the king at fault in punishing him?" Gopinath Patanayaka is in charge of collecting money on behalf of the government, but he misappropriates it. Not fearing the king, he squanders it to see dancing girls. If one is intelligent, let him perform service to the government, and after paying the government he can spend whatever money is left. At that time, another person came there in great haste, bringing the news that Vani Nataraya and his entire family has been arrested. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "The king must personally realize the money that is due. I am but a sannyasi, a member of the renounced order. What can I do?" Then all the devotees, headed by Svarupa Damodara Goswami, fell at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and submitted the following plea. "All the members of Ramananda Raya's family are your eternal servants. Now they are a danger. Now they are in danger. It's not befitting for you to be indifferent to them in this way." After hearing this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke in an angry mood. "You want to order me to go to the king," he said. "Your opinion is that I should go to the king's palace and spread my cloth to beg money from him. Of course, a sannyasi or brahmana may beg for up to 5 gandas, but why should he be granted the impropriate sum of 200,000 kahanas of conch shells?" Then another person came with the news that Gopinatha had already been set up to be thrown upon the points of the swords. Hearing this news, all the devotees again appealed to the Lord, but the Lord replied,
I am a beggar. It's impossible for me to do anything about this. Therefore, if you want to save him, you should all pray together at the lotus feet of Jagannath. Lord Jagannath is the supreme personality of Godhead. He possesses all potencies, therefore is able to act freely and can do and undo whatever he likes. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied in this way, an officer named Harichandana Patra went to the king and spoke with him. After all, he said, Gopinath Patanayaka is your faithful servant. To condemn a servant to death is not good behavior. His only fault is that he owes some money to the government. If he is killed, however, what profit will there be? The government will be the loser, for it will not get the money. It would be better to take the horses for a proper price and let him gradually repay the balance. Why are you killing him unnecessarily? The king answered in surprise, I didn't know about all this. Why should his life be taken? I only want the money from him. Go there and adjust everything. I want only the payment, not his life. Harichandana then returned and informed the prince of the king's desire, and immediately Gopinath Patanayaka was taken down from the changa. Then he was told that the king demanded the money due him and asked what means he would adopt to pay it. Kindly take my horses, he replied, for a proper price. I shall gradually pay the balance as I can. Without consideration, however, you were going to take my life, what can I say? Then the government took all the horses for a proper price. A time was set for payment of the balance, and Gopinath Patanayaka was released. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu inquired from the messenger what was Vaninatha doing when he was arrested and brought there. The messenger replied, he was fearlessly, incessantly chanting the Mahamantra Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. He counted the chants on the fingers of both hands, and after he had finished chanting 1,000 times, he would make a mark on his body. Hearing this news, the Lord was very pleased. Who can understand the mercy of the Lord upon his devotee? Actually, as long as you keep on staying devotee, you can have your sins, but the Lord gives you your mercy. As long as you stay faithful, that's actually always the most important thing. And it's much more important to be forgiven by the Lord than to be forgiven by the world. Much more important. If you in every moment focus on the Lord and take shelter in the Lord, it's much more important than all the worldly things that you are doing. At that time, Kaji Mishra came to the residence of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and the Lord talked with him with some agitation. I cannot stay here any longer, the Lord said. I shall go to Alalata. There are too many disturbances here, and I cannot get any rest. All the family members of Bhavananda Raya are engaged in government service, but they spend the government's revenue in various ways. What's the fault on the part of the king? He wants the government's money. However, when they are punished for failing to pay the government its due, they come to me to release them. Makes me think about what Jesus said, give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and give to Krishna what belongs to Krishna. And you can't ask from the Lord that he saves you when you don't give to Caesar what you give to Caesar. It has nothing to do, the law. Krishna won't change those laws. When the king put Gopinath Patanayaka on the changa, messengers came for 4 times to inform me about the incident. As a beggar sannyasi, a mendicant or mendicant, I wish to live alone in a solitary place. But these people come to tell me about their unhappiness and disturb me. Jagannath has saved him once from death today. But if tomorrow he again does not pay what he owes the treasury, who will give him protection? If I hear about the activities of materialistic person, my mind becomes agitated. There is no need for me to stay here and be disturbed in that way. Kaji Mishra caught hold of the Lord's lotus feet and said, why should you be agitated by these affairs? You are a renounced sannyasi. What connections do you have? One who worships you for some material person is blind to all knowledge. Kaji Mishra continued, if one engages in devotional service for your satisfaction, this will result in his increasingly awakening his dormant love for you. But if you engages in your devotional service for material purposes, it should be considered a number 1 fool. It's only for your sake that Ramananda Raya resigned from the governorship of South India and Sanatana Goswami gave up his post as minister. It's for your sake that Raghunatha Dasa gave up all his family relationships. His father sent money and men here to serve him. However, because he has received the mercy of your lotus feet, he doesn't even accept his father's money. Instead, he eats the begging alms from centers for the distributing of food. Gopinath Patanayaka is a good gentleman. He doesn't desire material benefit from you. It is not Gopinath who sent all those men so that you would release him from his plight. Rather, his friends and servants, seeing his distressed condition, informed you because they all knew that Gopinath is a soul surrendered unto you. Gopinath Patanayaka is a pure devotee who worships you only for your satisfaction. He doesn't care about his personal happiness or distress, for that's the business of a materialist. One who engages in your devotional service 24 hours a day, desire only your mercy, will very soon attain shelter at your lotus feet. One who seeks your compassion and thus tolerates all kinds of adverse conditions due to the karma of his past deeds, who engages always in your devotional service with his mind, words and body, and who always offers obeisances unto you, is certainly a bona fide candidate for becoming your unalloyed devotee. Kindly stay here in Jagannath Puri. Why should you go to Alaranata? Henceforward, no one will approach you about material affairs. Finally, Kaji Mishra told the Lord, if you want to give protection to Gopinath, then Lord Jagannath, who protected him today, will also protect him in the future. After saying this, Kaji Mishra left the abode of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and returned to his own temple. At noon, King Prataparudra came to Kajimishra's home. As long as King Prataparudra stayed in Purushotama, he performed one regular duty. He would come daily to the house of Kajimishra to massage his feet. The king would also hear from him about how opulently Lord Jagannath was being served. When the king began pressing his lotus feet, Kajimishra informed him about something through hints. My dear king, he said, please hear one uncommon item of use. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wants to leave Jagannath Puri and go to Alalanata. When the king heard that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was going to Alalanata, he was very unhappy and inquired about the reason. Then Kajimishra informed him of all the details. When Gopinath Patanayaka was lifted onto the Chandga, he said, all his servants went to inform Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Hearing about this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was extremely sorry at heart, and in anger he chastised Gopinath Patanayaka. Because he is mad after sense gratification, the Lord said. He acts as a government servant, but spends the government's revenue for various sinful activities. The revenue of the government is more sacred than the property of a Brahmana. One who misappropriates the government's money and uses it to enjoy sense gratification is most sinful. One who serves the government but misappropriates the government's revenue is liable to be punished by the king. Of course, that you can chant as much as you want, but you've got to do your duty. You don't have to cheat Caesar. This is the verdict of all revealed scriptures. The king wanted his revenue paid and didn't want to enforce punishment. Therefore, the king is certainly very religious, but Gopinath Patanayaka is a great cheat. He doesn't pay the revenue to the king, but he wants my help for release. This is a greatly sinful affair. I cannot tolerate it here. Therefore I shall leave Jagannath Puri and go to Alanata, where I shall live peacefully, and not hear about all these affairs of materialistic people. When King Prataparudra heard all these details, he felt great pain in his heart. I shall give up all that is due from Gopinath Patanayaka, he said. If Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will stay here at Jagannath Puri, if even for a moment I could get an interview with Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I would not care for the profit of millions of Sintamani stones. How great this desire of this king really wanted the mercy of the Lord. And even with all his possessions, he was not as materialistic as we would think, even a king who was that rich. He understood very clearly that actually happiness was not there. Happiness was where Lord Chaitanya was, this magnet, this mercy, this holy feeling, this kingdom, this other kingdom, not the kingdom of being a materialistic king, but being in the kingdom of the Lord, actually as a devotee. I don't care about this small sum of 200,000 kahanas. What to speak of this? I would indeed sacrifice everything at the lotus feet of the Lord, including my life and kingdom. Actually, that in so many stories, we see that so many souls are playing a role and get benefit in several ways, being in the same pastime of the Lord. He's working in several directions, actually. Gaji Mishra hinted to the king, it's not the Lord's desire that you forfeit the payment. He's unhappy only because the whole family is troubled. The king replied, I had no desire to give pain to Gopinath Patanayaka and his family, nor did I know about his being lifted unto the Changa to be thrown on the sword and killed. He sneered at Purushottam Jana, therefore the prince tried to scare him as a punishment. Go personally to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and keep him at Jagannath Puri with great attention. I shall excuse Gopinath Patanayaka from all his debts. Kajimitra said, excuse me, Gopinath Patanayaka, of all his debts will make the Lord unhappy, for that's not his intention. The king said, I shall absolve Gopinath Patanayaka of all his debts, but don't speak of this to the Lord. Simply let him know that all the family members of Bhavananda Raya, including Gopinath Patanayaka, are naturally my dear friends. Bhavananda Raya is worthy of my worship and respect. Therefore, I'm always naturally affectionate to his son. After offering obeisances to Kajimitra, the king returned to his palace and called for both Gopinath and the eldest prince. The king told Gopinath Patanayaka, you are excused for all the money you owe the treasury, and the place known as Malayata Dandapata is again given to you for collections. Don't again misappropriate the revenue of the government, in case you think your salary insufficient. Henceforward it will be doubled. Unbelievable, unbelievable how merciful the Lord is. It's actually because the mercy of the Lord is so big that he attracts the king, and by attracting the king gave release to this boy, to Gopinath Patanayaka. After saying this, the king appointed him by offering him a silken wrapper for his body. Go to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he said. After taking permission from him, go to your home. I bid you farewell. Now you may go. By the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, one can certainly become spiritually advanced. Indeed, no one can estimate the results of his mercy. And this mercy is working in all directions. Gopinath Patanayaka achieved the result of kingly opulence due to but a glimpse of the Lord's mercy. Therefore, no one can calculate the full value of his mercy. Gopinath Patanayaka was lifted unto the Changa to be killed, and all his money was taken away. But instead his debts were excused, and he was appointed collector in the same place. On one hand, Gopinath Patanayaka was unable to clear his debt even by selling all his possessions, but on the other, his salary was doubled, and he was honored with a silken wrapper. It was not the desire of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that Gopinath Patanayaka be excused of his debt to the government, nor was it his desire that his salary be doubled or that he be reappointed collector at the same place. When Gopinath Patanayaka's servants went to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and informed the Lord of his plight, the Lord was somewhat agitated and dissatisfied. The Lord had no intention of awarding his devotee the happiness of material opulence. Yet, simply because of his being informed, such a great result was obtained. No one can estimate the wonderful characteristics of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Even Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva cannot understand the intentions of the Lord. This is very significant for what I see that's happening in the Sangha and what's happening in my life since I am a member of the Sangha. That so many unexpected things are happening that you don't understand, because it takes a while before we understand the Lord, and will always be surprises, and later we understand, oh, that was the meaning, oh, and then you see that everything is perfect, but we are too small to understand the intentions of the Lord. But it's always perfect. It's always merciful, out of mercy and perfect. Kaji Mishra went to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and informed him in detail of all the king's intentions. Upon hearing about Kaji Mishra's tactics with the king, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Kaji Mishra, what have you done? You have made me indirectly take help from the king. Kaji Mishra said, my dear Lord, the king has done this without reservations. Kindly hear his statement. The king said, speak to the Lord in such a way that he will not think, for my sake the king has forfeited 200,000 kahanas of bodies. Inform Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that all the sons of Bhavananda Raya are especially dear to me. I consider them like members of my family. Therefore, I have appointed them collectors in various places. And although they spend the government's money, eat, drink, plunder, and distribute as they like, I don't take them very seriously. I made Ramananda Raya the government of Raya Mundri. There is practically no account of whatever money he took and distributed in that position. Having been appointed collector, Gopinatha in the same way also generally spends 200,000 to 400,000 kahanas as he likes. Gopinath Patanayaka would collect some and pay some, spending it at will. But I would not consider this very seriously. This time, however, he was put into trouble because of a misunderstanding with the prince. The prince created this situation without my knowledge, but actually I consider all the sons of Bhavananda Raya to be like my relatives. Because of my intimate relationship with them, I've absolved Gopinath Patanayaka of all his debts. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu doesn't know this fact. Whatever I have done is because of my intimate relationship with the family of Bhavananda Rai. Having heard from Kaji Mishra all these statements concerning the king's mentality, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very happy. At that time, Bhavananda Raya arrived there. Bhavananda Raya, along with his 5 sons, fell at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who lifted him up and embraced him. Thus Ramananda Raya, all his brothers and their father met Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then Bhavananda Raya began speaking. All these members of my family, he said, are your eternal servants. You have saved us from this great danger. Therefore, you have purchased us for a proper price. You have now demonstrated your love for your devotees, just as when you previously saved the 5 Pandavas from great danger. Gopinatha Patanayaka, his head covered with a silken wrapper, fell at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and described in detail the king's mercy toward him. The king has excused me for the balance due, he said. He has reappointed me to my post by honoring me with this silken cloth and has doubled my salary. When you're a devotee, you're always fortunate. You're always so fortunate. I was lifted upon the changa to be killed, but instead I was honored with a silken cloth. This is all your mercy. On the changa, I began meditating upon your lotus feet, and the power of that remembrance has yielded all these results. Struck with wonder by my affairs, the populace is glorifying the greatness of your mercy. However, my Lord, these are not the principal results of meditating upon your lotus feet. Material opulence is very flickering. Therefore, it's simply a glimpse of the result of your mercy. Your real mercy has been granted to Ramananda Raya and Vaninatha Raya, for you have detached them from all material opulence. I think that I haven't been favored by such mercy. Kindly bestow upon me your pure mercy, so that I may also become renounced. I am no longer interested in material enjoyment. That's what happens when you really, when you come in contact with the mercy of the Lord. When miracles are happening because of the Lord, and you understand this, you get transformations. You really get transformations. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, if you all adopt the renounced order and lose interest in dealing with pounds, shillings, and pence, who will take charge of maintaining your large family? Whether you are involved in material activities or become completely renounced, you 5 brothers are all my eternal servants, birth after birth. However, just obey one order from me. Do not spend any of the king's revenue. Give Caesar what's Caesar's, and give God what's for God. It's not because you are a devotee that you can think, I'm protected and I can be a sinner. No, you still have to perform you still have to keep your manners and give to Caesar what's Caesar's part. Why should you change that? I will leave it until here. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram. Yeah, it's a nice pastime, really. Yeah, I'm getting a little bit tired, and I can't concentrate good anymore. You're a rich woman now by getting pure. Oh man, you can't believe how rich I am. Oh yeah. I say you are overwhelmed with that blessing. Yeah, oh yeah, of course. Yeah, thank you, Suragora Haridas. It's all in your name. I cannot repeat it more. Great reading and realizations. I'm also getting another layer of revelation from this past. I'm all great. I want to hear this. Well, for me, it's getting better because I start to understand. I'm not only living from the vibrations anymore. I'm starting to understand the English, and even I still have this mind problem that I forget what I read when Balaram asked, well, now talk about it. Can you talk about these pastimes? A lot of times I can't because it's gone already. So my mind is still not really cured, but it's, yeah, this pastime now I understood everything. So I feel that the mind is getting better. Yeah, it's not only the vibrations that bring me in this ecstasy, but I'm getting more. The Lord gives me more by curing my mind. I think, yeah. See, this is the mercy, and we don't know how the Lord is working. Even if we know the theory, so many expected things are there, and miracles, real miracles. With our material mind, we can't understand it. We just have, like I read that Mina said in one of your videos, Gora Haritas, she said, surrender is accept the mercy. And yeah, yesterday I told Balaram exactly the same thing before I read what she said, because I read what she said today. It happened in the house of Balaram's mother in London, that suddenly I felt that I throw away my shield and that I surrender deeper. And it was out of the mercy, because I got more mercy. You're capable. It's because the Lord gives you the mercy that you're capable to surrender. You're not doing it yourself. But it gives you so much. They say, oh, now it can go, you know. Now I don't need it anymore. Go away. Your shield. Yeah, this is from this world. I don't need that anymore. Those worldly things. Now it's here I am, my Lord. My battery is going low. Hare Krishna, everybody. See you all later. Thank you.